Hello and welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Stores, and hanging out with me as always is
Rob Morphy.
Robert, what up? And
I am Chris.
Christopher. Thank you all so very much for joining us, Cryptonaut podcast. We're here. We're doing it. Oh, this seems like it's a little old school. This seems like it's a little classic Uncle Bob. This one that we got here today.
You are correct.
I was just waiting to see if
you're looking at me with like the pregnant leer, and I'm like, yeah, yes, it is.
I was just waiting
Classic
for.
Bobby.
I was just waiting for like an acknowledgement.
What, in your estimation, makes it classic Uncle Bobby?
I don't know, man. I just got a feeling about this.
Okay,
I got a feeling, mostly because it's we're dealing with the Frogoyle. Yeah,
oh,
there you go.
Boy.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah,
we sure as fuck are.
I like it when you take the animals and you just mix them together like that. You make your own little chimeras. I like that.
I do, but I can't take credit for it.
Oh, really?
Credit will be given as credit is due at the appropriate time.
All right, man. Well, this week we're talking about suburban horror, the Bluefield Frogoyle. Ooh, and a frog and a gargoyle, not necessarily two things you really want to see come together because it's just going to be stinky and big and have weird eyes.
A lot of times I think it's already been done. I mean, first off, I'm not going to go down this alley too far because I know I've been down it before, but I have to say, as a kid, I lamented after seeing the made-for-TV movie Gargoyles, which is fucking top-notch and terrifying in its own way.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
That they aren't based on real-life demonic entities, but they're just like an architectural sort of edifice. They're just something used to like scare demons away from churches and let water run off.
Yeah, they're super cool drainage.
Absolutely. And from, again, an architectural point of view, fantastic. But from a kid who is obsessed with mythology point of view, dick kick.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, gargoyles were never supposed to be real. All this other cool shit, minotaurs, fucking mermaids, all this shit was supposed to be real, but not gargoyles. But to get back to the point, a lot of them kind of did look like frogs. They had big open mouths that collected water,
that's where
spit
they
it out.
sat and kind of launched in that kind of,
yeah, we have a friend actually who has a super cool gargoyle.
Oh, yeah, right on his home.
Yeah, it's dope looking. I should ask him where he got those, and I should put some in my front yard. Because I have plenty of room now that I have no more mulch. It's all stone. I could put some gargoyles out there. Not on the roof.
But to protect.
The roof's new.
Protect the kids.
Yeah, protect the kids with the giant stone gargoyles. I don't know if Nicole will go for that, but we'll see what happens. Regardless, let's get started with the odysseys of youth are fraught with perils, both real and imagined. But for one curious young boy, his obsession with a pair of eccentric neighbors and their odd property would spiral him into a surreal vortex of dark history, crazy cryptids, and what he believed were occult rituals.
Hot damn.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's the cinematic story. That's Fright Night. It's just like...
You were right. You're predicting ahead where my mind was
doing
going.
The thing again.
Yeah, you're doing it. It's what you do.
I mean, well, that title just describes... I mean, that is...
100%. No, it's a slippery slope in general, but you know what? Without the ados, let me jump in.
All right, man, let's do it.
In our reality, 1985's Fright Night. That's right, Chris. 1985's epic Fright Night, as written and directed by Tom Holland, is a rollicking tribute to the Hammer horror films of the 1950s and 60s, particularly the dynamic between Peter Cushing and his frequent on-screen nemesis, Christopher Lee, who Mark got to speak with once. God damn, I'm still envious of that.
Yeah, it's a long story. That's definitely for Patreon.
With a healthy dollop of Hitchcockian voyeurism, all swaddled in a classic curiosity killed the cat scenario with great gooey special effects and a fun 80s teen pop vibe. Now, imagine what might have happened if, following the resounding flop of his epic 1984 adaptation of Dune, had to be referenced soon enough.
Nice.
Yep.
Columbia Pictures had tapped visionary filmmaker David Lynch to come in, rewrite, and direct Fright Night. For any film fanatic, the mere suggestion sends one's imagination into a frenzy of possibilities. Perhaps young Kyle MacLachlan would have been recruited to the pivotal role of the teenager Charlie Brewster, who, in an almost Blue Velvet-like fashion, finds himself slipping into the seedy underbelly of an otherwise bucolic burg by the slow unfolding of a grim and violent mystery. But before I find myself slipping too deeply into this specific rabbit hole, where I'll almost certainly parse the minutiae of what it might have been like to have had Dennis Hopper essaying Chris Sarandon's role as the vampire next door, Jerry Dandridge.
Oh, no.
That's a great fucking casting, dude. Totally.
Okay.
Let's pause this mind experiment and agree that whatever the results may have been, they would have almost certainly been fascinating. And here's where I come to the subject of this week's episode, the Bluefield Frogoyle. So named by the prolific crypto chronicler and my much neglected researcher, Cole Herrold.
I was wondering why
Nice.
I knew the name. I thought it was one of your monsters.
No,
actually.
I think Cole named this one.
Okay, no, it makes sense that Cole named it then. Okay, man.
I'm terrible. Like I just, he's there and he will help, and I just constantly do my own shit, and I'm like, I'm driving myself crazy.
You got
I
that
need to
new
use
phone,
Cole.
son.
I know.
You can FaceTime Cole.
I really should.
You should.
Bruh.
Yeah,
Bro.
I know.
Come on.
I've got to learn to designate.
Cole, if you're listening, contact Robert immediately.
Jesus.
But back on point. Like in the movies mentioned above, it's an account of one youth's fixation on the strange goings-on next door. But instead of a teenager being swept up in the sensuality and violence underlying their otherwise quiet town, as was the case in both Fright Night and Blue Velvet, it's the story of a curious child, his utterly oddball neighbors, and a strange little monster who forever etched itself onto the boy's memory. And for all those playing 80s flick bingo, the slash chip can safely go on E.T., Gremlins, Critters, Ghoulies,
Yep.
Hobgoblins, or God fucking forbid, the Munchies.
Oh, the Munchies. No one ever
Fucking
thinks about the Munchies.
I think about the Munchies,
Do you really?
and I'm not pleased. I wish they occupied zero space in my head.
Oh, man. Although Ghoulies, yeah. Oh, Troll, dude. Troll 1 and Troll 2.
Troll definitely could have made the cut.
Yeah.
I
dude,
mean, I like Troll genuinely as a movie. I like it better than Ghoulies.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Ghoulies
Okay.
is sort of one note.
Well, yeah.
But Troll has like alternate worlds and
It's
crazy
true.
things
Yeah.
happening.
the little
I mean,
mushroom
yeah.
guy that sings.
no budget Tolkien, you know?
Yeah, man. It's kind of like House Part 1 and House Part 2. Both have a huge spot in my heart, and
Yeah.
it's hard to pick which one.
Well, I mean, for me, one is the only
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Two is miserably
No, two's
bad.
fun, man. Grandpa's he's the cowboy
I know.
and the skulls.
It got
No,
a
I
little
know.
Henson-y.
Oh, it
Like-
got super
Like,
Henson-y.
by the time you got to 3, there's just Muppets fucking galore. I'm like, bruh.
It's all
Like-
fair.
like-
Dude, it got, just the pterodactyl alone, you're like, Jim, wow, simmer. All right, well, Robert, let's move on from the Munchies.
But before we begin, let's figure out where we are. Nestled near the southernmost point of West Virginia, just over 150 miles southeast of the notoriously monster-infested Point Pleasant and the surrounding environs, all of it was really riddled with creatures and weird shit. Bluefield is a small mining town located in the Mercer County region of the Appalachian Mountains. As of the 2020 census, the population was a good bit under 10,000 souls, but some years earlier, that count would have had to include one additional, extremely bizarre being. Though whether or not this potentially demonic entity even had a soul is still very much in question. In 2004, a man identifying himself only as Robert S. posted an unusual series of experiences he'd had in the Your True Tales Paranormal Phenomenon section of the now defunct About.com.
Oh, About.com, R.I.P.
I never went there.
Oh, man, it's like a terrible Quora.
Oh.
Like, it's just...
Yeah, and I would have
Yeah.
never thought about it if you didn't bring it up like right now.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that kind of like Ask Jeeves. This shit just died, and you're like, thank God. Jeez, you just die a slow GeoCities death.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just
But GeoCities lingers, doesn't it? In the darkest corners, covered in
I mean, it
mold
might. I don't
and
know.
regret.
I don't know.
Right next to Angel Fire.
I kind of wish that portion of the internet still existed.
Me too, dude.
But
Like,
I mean, it's out there somewhere, man. You just gotta go use the way back machine, dog.
Fair
there
enough.
you go. Back
It's
to the time
always
when
there.
the internet was a better place.
Mm,
It was much better back then. Come on.
well, yeah, in some way. Well, pre-social media.
Dude,
yes.
when we were running the American Monsters forums, getting hacked every other week,
Every other
recovery
minute.
mode.
the only games you could play is like you connected to people and they're like, here's a bunch of letters and you had to make a sentence out of the fucking remember that fucking
I
thing?
do, yeah.
Way back in the fucking late
I do.
90s or whatever it was.
I do. Holy shit.
Right. And then you just voted on like the funniest one.
Yeah,
And
no,
you won
I,
nothing,
I
but-
do remember that. And then I remember playing like Quake Arena. And then I'm like, I'm playing with people across the world. And then I realized how bad I was. Like, oh, I suck.
I have no recollections of
Yeah.
any of this.
All right, man. There you go. About.com. Big rips.
According to Robert's account, as a boy, he and his family moved to a house in an idyllic suburb of Bluefield on Longview Avenue. This presumably occurred sometime in the 1970s or 80s, though frustratingly, no specific ages or time frames were listed. Like a lot of kids, Robert remembered himself as a quote-unquote fearless and exceptionally curious child. As such, he wasted no time in exploring his new neighborhood, marking its territorial boundaries in terms of how far his parents would allow him to go, and making mental notes about areas that had piqued his curiosity and demanded further investigation. One such landmark was a house located 2 doors down from his own, whose backyard was concealed by a huge hedgerow that wrapped around the perimeter. Though Robert's parents had almost certainly admonished him to stay in his own yard and not bother anyone, his inquisitiveness got the better of him, and when no one was looking, he found himself crawling under the neighbor's bushes for a look at the mysteries that lay beyond. Halfway through his push through the hedges, Robert was surprised to encounter a length of barbed wire intermingled within the scrub. It seemed that whoever owned the property was serious about keeping trespassers at bay. But what, through the lens of experience, an average adult might heed as a warning to back off, an eager child will merely take as a challenge. So, fueled with wide-eyed wonder, blissful ignorance, and of course, the moxie of youth, the small-framed Robert burrowed his way beneath the pointy obstacle, taking each small snag on his skin and clothes, and the resultant pain and disapproval of his parents, to be a small price for satisfying his burning curiosity.
Man, this kid is adventurous and brave. He's just like barbed wire. Fuck it.
I think I would have not done that probably.
As a kid, I used to do that shit all the time, like jump fences they had with the barbed wire on the top. The trick is just put your hoodie on, and then you won't get stabbed so much with it.
Well, yeah, that is the trick, assuming
Yeah.
that what's over the fence is worth pursuing.
Yeah, good point.
It being verboten was never enough for me.
Yeah,
Like, just because you want me out, I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to take your warning.
yeah, that's true. Always look for a hole in the fence, or if you're real fucking, bring some fucking snips.
Oh, boy.
Boop, boop, boop. Make yourself a little hole.
That's when the breaking gets into the entering.
Yeah.
That's where it
dude.
gets
Just make yourself a
dangerous.
little hole, dude. Whatever. And then just put it back up like no one's going to see it. And then just leave it there.
Or somebody just puts too big of a chain on the gate, and you're like, even my fat ass can slip into here. You
Yeah.
prevented nothing from happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's a lot of leeway,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
And
didn't
you're
get
like,
the
yeah,
slack right.
exactly.
Yeah, you didn't pull the chain
Fucked up the
quite
slack.
tight enough. Nice.
So anyway, this kid gives zero fucks. That's established.
Good for him.
Robert is headstrong and intrepid. Let's go so far as to say.
He's my kind of kid. He's out
Fair.
there doing fucking possibly illegal shit. Good for him.
Oh, definitely illegal
Yeah,
shit.
good. There you go.
It's trespassing.
Keep it up, kids.
Yeah, might be a Cenobite someday though.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Seems like
he'll
just
be
like
wrapped
a
in
pain.
barbed
So
wire and
he's like
shrubs.
barbed
Yeah.
wire.
He'll be like all fern and fucking wire.
What a
It'll be
shitty
terrible.
Cenobite. Oh, it sucks.
like fences? And he's just fucking. He's just constantly in a fence.
We have such things to show you. You're like, no, don't show me.
You will itch for eternity.
Like
Just-
fences.
Just draw it. Just draw it for me, please. Don't show me.
Emerging through the other side, the first thing Robert noticed was an array of multicolored witching balls. Something that I've seen, I guess, but is new to my experience. And I found out more about them today than I ever thought I'd know.
Oh, okay. I don't know what these are.
Well, according to Cole, they are things that were put out by farmers to discourage the presence of witches, to
Really?
negate black magic.
Huh. Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay, so I know what all those words mean,
Right.
but like what exactly?
They're just like these colorful glass balls.
A ball of light.
Approximately the size, not necessarily illuminated, approximately the
just a
size of a
ball.
bowling
Oh,
ball
okay.
or maybe a little
I guess
smaller.
I just assumed it was lit up for
And,
some reason.
and they're called witching balls, I guess.
Okay.
And sometimes you see them on a pedestal and sometimes they're just laying around a yard, I guess. I've never seen them en masse.
Oh
like,
shit! I know,
apparently
I know what
this
these
is.
are. Oh, these are cool. Yeah, these are those cool like little like yarn or like yard ornaments.
I
that
just
people
always
put out.
assumed, much like pink flamingos, which I mean,
Okay.
obviously,
Yeah, I
since
didn't
John
realize it
Waters, I
was like
love
an-
the irony of that it was just some
Huh.
lawn shit people put up, like a
Just
garden gnome.
art, yeah, just-
Yeah, or like that random jockey, which I never quite understood.
I
but-
didn't realize that these were like this was like even a thing. No shit. Okay, I mean, yeah, actually, my mother-in-law's got a couple of these that are pretty fucking dope.
Right on.
Well, good, she's keeping the black magic out of the fucking in-laws' house. Good for her.
So, the first thing Robert notices,
Witching
bringing it
balls.
back, is the multicolored witching balls that dotted the landscape. But his attention was quickly drawn to the yard's main feature, a large, likely handmade pond that was surrounded by the swirling orbs. And by swirling, I mean the swirling colors within
Oh,
them.
Yeah,
cool.
They're not actually swirling around anything.
Okay, so far so good. This kid at the jackpot.
Fascinated, Robert threw caution to the wind, and instead of sneaking around the perimeter, he began openly walking through the strange display of art and nature. It was at that moment that he caught a flash of movement out of the corner of his eye. It was the vague figure of a balding middle-aged man staring out a back window. The young witness would later compare the man to Alan Funt from the Candid Camera Show.
Dude, who are you talking to right now?
Yeah, who uses Alan Funt as a point of reference? Fucking no one.
Making it clear why I
Christ.
suppose this was a 70s or 80s sighting.
I mean, literally,
not more
all of our
recent.
listeners right now,
Okay,
I think, like
that
a
makes
quarter of
that
them
makes
might
sense.
know who
for,
Alan
for,
Funt
for
is.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even then, even people our age, it's not necessarily a ubiquitous cultural phenomenon.
No.
Candid Camera was a big show.
It was, yeah.
I mean, that fuckers
Yes.
understand the caveat of Candid Camera
No, it's
more than
fucking
they
hilarious.
know the Alan fucking Funt.
Yeah.
But yes, now it makes sense for that time frame
Okay.
for sure, because nobody
Yeah, no, that's definitely
knows who the fuck that is.
That's a point in time, dude.
Definitely. Only he had a large birthmark on his head and face that looked like white paint had been splashed on it.
Oh,
So he's got a non-pigmented
okay.
segment of his dome and face.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
hmm The other significant difference between the two men was that Funt's usually jovial countenance
Funt.
had been replaced by it's just a fun name to say.
I just
Funt.
just
What's up,
can't.
Funt?
Oh, I just can't.
When he was a kid, you want to go over to Funts, fucking kick around the old whatever the
Oh,
fuck
yeah,
they did.
Funt's being a
the
real
depression,
bitch.
probably.
Yeah, Funt's got a Polaroid. He's taking pictures of us doing dumb shit.
Let's go over to Funts and then get in the breadline.
Depression era humor.
Depression era font. Oh, Jesus.
Jovial countenance of the Funt had been replaced by what at first looked like, and this is a quote, a sneaky grin that was quickly followed by an expression of rage.
Oh, boy.
That's a weird face. Old man in the window. Fine.
Yeah.
Strange birthmark. Okay, you're a little kid. You notice it, but it's no big deal. People look different. That's fine. Sneaky grin replaced by a look of fucking fury.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Well, no, because it goes from like, hey to
Yeah,
like,
that's
real
some
pissed real quick.
creepypasta shit.
Yeah.
Really, though.
Yeah, that's brutal, dog. That's scary shit. You just want to see a sneaky
brutal,
grin and be like,
dog.
all right, man. This fun's fucking being sneaky.
Well, maybe if it was just a full sneaky grin, that if that had lingered, might have been worse.
Yeah, not true.
'Cause
Yeah, but
it's
the
like-
rage, at least the rage.
Yeah,
is
but being
like,
mad is just like old man yells at cloud. It's just but
Right.
like
Sure.
the grin, like
Yeah.
and then the like.
But then
All right.
grin replaced by rage, it's like the worst set of both
Yeah,
worlds.
right. It's
Yeah.
way worse than either one separately.
True.
Though he knew he was busted, Robert figured that, being new to the Longview neighborhood, if he was able to make a fast escape, maybe the homeowner would have no idea who the trespasser was. He dove for the hedges just as the furious man burst out of the back door, screaming for him to get out at the top of his lungs. Scrambling through the dirt, scratchy low-hanging limbs, and prickly wire, the boy likely could not help but be struck by the urgency in the man's voice. This wasn't just a desire for privacy or the maintenance of a child-free sanctuary at work. No, his tone seemed to express an odd combination of anger and genuine fear. Almost as if he was pleading for the kid not just to vacate his property, but to get away before it was too late. That's the tone.
Okay.
That's a weird patina.
That is, especially when you're like, there's witching balls in a homemade pond. I'm going for a fucking dip. And then this guy's just yelling at you.
Yeah.
He's trying to swim, man. The guy's being a fucking prick.
Maybe just, cool your feet.
Yeah, dude, there you go. The kid ain't hurting nothing. Although if it was my yard, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my yard, you little bastard. You son of a bitch. How dare you?
Right. Do you have a yard? Do you probably have a yard? Go to your yard.
Yeah, go to your yard,
Yeah.
asshole. Yeah.
Wow.
Get out of my witch pond.
Get your goddamn feet out of my goddamn witch pond. Funt said so.
Wow. When the fun says, you listen.
Yeah, dude, Funt.
Yeah. I love this duel between Mark's childhood personality and his adult
I know,
landowning
really.
personality. Like,
For the
hey, he's
record-
not hurting any. Get the fuck out of here.
I've never yelled at any children in my yard. I only yell at the cats in my yard because they spray my goddamn basement windows with their urine, and it fucking pisses me off.
Why just
And
the
I'm like,
windows?
Because my cat's in the basement. So she's
Oh, they
outside
see the
fucking
cat?
with them, and then she comes in like, fuck you, I got a nice warm spot to eat and some food, and I get to yell at this fucking asshole. And then she sits in the fridge, the cat comes to the window and then sprays the window trying to like get to her. And this cat has balls like cantaloupes.
Wow.
It's huge. This cat has the biggest pair of balls I've ever seen on it.
Unfixed.
Oh, yeah, super unfixed.
Dude, you need to get some
Doesn't I think I'll ask you later, but I think your cousin does a thing where they like trap cats and they like fix them or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I might talk to her about that because this cat might need to like.
Bill's wife now hangs out with Kristen, and she's part of that whole thing.
Okay, I might have to get a hold of them and be like,
Wow.
I'm not sure whose cat this is, but it's about to be ballless.
The ball snipping cult.
Yeah.
I'm a little alarmed.
So I don't yell at people. I yell at cats. Continue, Robert.
Back to the story. Breathless, Robert rushed to his house, hoping no one caught sight of his escape. But luck was not his ally. Within seconds, there was a pounding at his front door.
Fucking busted.
Yeah. His mother answered to find her red-faced neighbor screaming that their son was to never, ever enter his yard again.
Oh, so now you're making it a challenge.
You really are.
Seriously.
His mom agreed that her son's exploits were a bridge too far and finally calmed the flustered man down enough to leave with the assurance that it would not happen again. For his part, Robert was likely given a stern talking to and maybe even was grounded for a time. Though not specifically cited, whatever his punishment may have been, it was significant enough to dissuade the boy from further expeditions through the hedgerow. For a bit, anyway.
See, because you gave him a challenge.
Yeah, you don't do that.
No, man.
I mean, he didn't do it. He just went in the yard.
Yeah, he just
went in
walked
the
in the
yard.
yard and was just kind of hanging out there.
Okay, fine. Just don't go in the yard.
Sure.
So he didn't like throw rocks.
No.
Yeah, it's not like he was like kicking around the witch balls, trying to smash them.
Yeah,
Like
throwing
a
the witch
punk
balls
kid.
in the pond,
Oh,
taking a shit in Funt's pond.
that would never have gone over.
Dude, that's what that kid was gonna do.
Wow.
Taking
It's
a
like, I
shit
feel like
in
that's
the
an old
pond.
saying. Like, that's about as popular as the kid who shit in Fun's pond.
I should be now, dude.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let it catch on
That's
with no one
that's
ever.
Morpheism right there.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. No, I will not be credited with that. Let that little phrase be anonymous.
No, man.
You ever
I
heard
don't
of
know.
Fun's Pond?
Yeah,
What?
dude? Yeah.
This is,
Dude, shit.
this is
you're-
morality play.
that's ridiculous. You might as well go shit in Fun's pond as do that.
You see, you're nailing it.
Yeah.
You're nailing it.
It's a phrase now
Okay, fine.
that only the three of us will use
No,
and not
our,
frequently.
Our listeners will use it as well.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
Fun's pond.
There you go. Shitting it.
As time went on, Robert found himself fascinated by his uniquely birthmarked neighbor and his equally eccentric wife. Like 12-year-old DJ Walters, the inquisitive lead in the 2006 animated horror flick Monster House. And I say not children's film. That's a full-on horror
Monster
film.
House is awesome. It's super cool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Robert was becoming obsessed with his strange neighbors. At night, the couple would sing Christian hymns into the wee hours. But these were not the gentle, inspirational ditties that issued forth from houses of worship. They were discordant cacophonies, screamed almost blasphemously loud at the top of their lungs, accompanied by a piano that seemed like it was being played by a toddler with a hammer.
Well, how does he know they were Christian hymns just by the words then?
I don't know if this kid's a Christian and he heard him in church, or if it was like he asked his parents what they were singing at some point and they were like, they're hymns, dude.
I like that they're
but
doing
I
it
don't know what.
loud and terribly. It was like, ba, 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 Jesus, da, 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 smashing the fucking piano and shit. Like
Just beating the keys.
Yeah, just
And
da,
it's
da,
one,
da, da.
it's one thing if you can't sing, but you're a passionately religious and you just want to just carry that ode to God as loud as you
your
can.
neighbors, but dude, your
Yeah.
neighbors are definitely gonna fucking hear this.
But when
dude.
you know you suck, and if you don't know you suck, you know your significant other sucks. So even if you're under the delusion you're good, you know the person who's singing with you blows.
Yeah.
But you're both doing it as loud as you can, and neither one of you can play the fucking piano, and you're doing it anyway.
Yeah, or sing apparently.
I mean, yeah, dude,
That's extreme.
you're drawing attention to yourself, dude. Especially as a neighbor, you got to be, noise, man. You don't want to be too loud for your fucking neighbors, dog. You got to be respectful of the people around you. Ask them if they'd like to join in. Ask them if it upsets them.
I would.
There you go.
I wouldn't do that anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. No, my neighbors are all pretty cool.
Not if you were doing that. Not
No,
if you and
I
Nick
wouldn't
were
do that.
scream shouting hymns.
Every so often I get hammered. I break out the fucking karaoke speaker and we do karaoke in the backyard. But we invite the neighbors over. We're like, come over, sing with us.
Of
And
course.
and it's fun.
That
and then
becomes
it-
a
Okay,
bonding
yeah.
And then it gets a little
episode.
too late. And then, I'm doing Danzig. Snakes of Christ.
Of course you do.
Do my best Danzig.
Yeah.
All right, well, film
Your
that
legs
next time.
shortened by 6 inches inexplicably.
Yeah.
You just get on your knees and sing
I
it.
was like, time to run, yeah, time to hide. Just
You could
fucking
deadlift a
hammered.
tractor,
Yes,
but only
dude.
until you're done singing.
All right, man. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Robert also noted that the man's wife would often parade around the yard with her tank top around her waist, displaying her mastectomy scars, which actually sounds pretty badass. Like, fuck you guys. I mean, we have topless laws in New York since the 80s. And to my chagrin, I've never once seen a woman publicly topless. But that having been said, it's fair. If guys can show their nipples, girls should be able to show their nipples. It's universal. It's a gimme.
I don't
like in state parks and stuff. I don't know about city streets, but I remember reading it as a kid in the like local paper and going, "Well, hot damn!"
You say city streets?
I will enjoy excursions to Fillmore Glen, Watkins Glen, fill in the Glen, a lot more.
You just wait until you see a bunch of topless, toothless drug addicts in front of the fucking Cuyahoga County office building. You're gonna drive by and be like, "Well, I wish they had shirts on."
Oh, sure. Sure, there's limits to every desire.
All right, but
and bear in mind, this is a 12-year-old's delight, not a fucking 51-year-old's reality.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
all right, so
there was that. So she's doing it, and you know what? I mean, she's got her scars.
Yeah,
wear
she's
them proudly.
like, fucking fuck it, whatever. I'm
do
doing
it,
what I
whatever.
wanna do. Yeah.
So it you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it did nothing to endear her to the neighbors. Next, Robert, in a situation that would have worried his parents had they been more attentive, and clearly they were not, took to climbing trees to spy on the couple, adding that often during the winter months they liked to bathe in the buff.
In the winter months?
In the winter. Which to me, that's the sin. Like in your own yard, you got a big hedgerow, let it flop, let it fly. Do what you want to do.
Are they European?
I mean, I can't swear they aren't. Is the front face a European face?
Is that like a European thing? Like, do Vikings do that shit?
Sure.
You know, like it's cold and they're like, fuck it, get naked.
I mean, the Germans certainly do because they give zero fucks.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
free with their bodies.
And this kid's just climbing trees and fucking peeping on these.
To me, that's the more disturbing issue here. Not the nude sunbathing in their own yard.
Probably shouldn't be climbing trees and peeping at your neighbors.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Of course, if they notice a kid in the tree watching them, it's kind of on them to leave and then inform the parents again, but still.
Yeah, this someone's going to get put on a list.
Here's the problem when you're reporting things. You end up having to write things that you are uncomfortable with. But it is a fact of the case as written by Robert S. And so I'm putting it out there.
I mean, dude, it's what kids do, dude. I mean, you know.
Truth be told, the only truly offensive thing they're doing is the fucking late night fucking hymn sesh.
Yeah, it's your own backyard.
Yeah,
they have a hedge.
It's affecting other people.
Their hedge is like their own privacy fence. So they're back. They can do whatever they want. They're not like they're not like out in the open. You know, like, and even if they were, it's your own yard. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Is there laws against that shit?
No, I don't think so.
Not in your own.
I don't think in your own yard. I mean, maybe if it's unfenced. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. Yeah. And I'm sure like lower half nudity has a different set of laws than upper half nudity, which as established, at least in New York State.
Yeah.
Carte blanche. Do what you want.
You just can't be walking around.
I mean, I don't know. Like if you're like out on your porch on your own property and you're just hanging with your boobs out, like can you?
I think maybe yes.
I don't.
But I would think if your dick's in the wind, there would probably be an indecent exposure in your future.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, what if it wasn't a dick? What if it was a vagina?
I think it depends on how conservative your neighbors are. It depends on where you live and what's going on. But I think probably the rules are different for genitals than secondary sexual characteristics up north.
Yeah, I guess it kind of has to be.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean...
But none of us are experts, clearly.
No.
I have no idea.
We can like call our lawyer real quick and just be like,
wouldn't be worth the hundreds of dollars.
Just curious.
My wife just sit on the steps with her boobs hanging out.
Yeah, listen. Nick's into some weird shit. She got these new vampire books that she's been reading.
Hey.
Things are getting weird.
We found out just before this.
We did.
Amazon finally fucking delivered her, what was it, Filthy Rich Vampires?
I cannot believe that's the title.
You're going to come home and she's going to have a pair of teeth. And she's going to be like,
here you go.
Hey, Marky, want to wear this fucking teeth?
Yeah, that's her voice too.
I know.
Marky. Yeah. No, she likes to read books.
God bless.
Yeah.
And literacy should always be encouraged.
Yeah.
No matter how depraved.
Even if it's weird vampire porn.
Or piss poor it is.
Weird vampire porn, dude.
I love her and I'm glad she's reading.
Oh, God.
And that's when to grow up.
It sure shit is. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So.
Naked.
What it was that so intrigued the child is unclear. But he claimed to have, since the first time he trespassed on their property, the sense that something was quote-unquote wrong with the neighbors and their land, which, despite their strangeness, only exacerbated his fascination. In his story, Herrold wrote, going back to Cole, man, I'm going to call you soon, quote, the peculiar nature of his eccentric neighbors was not enough, however, to dissuade him from once again approaching their property. And on one particular summer's day, he would come to regret not staying his distance, end quote. On the day in question, Robert was playing just outside the hedges with a bunch of Matchbox cars, something I think we can all identify with to a degree. Not that I ever gave fucks about cars, but somehow every kid gets Matchbox cars.
Just a few.
Yeah, but I mean, I went right for like the Star Wars figures.
Sure,
like the
so did
G.I.
I.
Joes. Like, I mean, I had Matchbox cars just because I had like a cool track. Oh no, I had like Gravedigger and like Bigfoot, the fucking monster truck ones. Those were really tits, dude.
Right on.
Fucking Bigfoot ruled.
It's inescapable. If you're a boy of a certain generation, you own Matchbox cars.
I got my kid Matchbox cars when he was younger. So I'm like, yeah, here, check them out.
Well,
And he was just
because
like,
it helps hand-eye coordination when you're a kid.
Yeah.
It's motor skills.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything more, really.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm saying it's something we can all identify with. He's outside playing with Matchbox cars when he was startled by a sudden rustling of the bushes not far away. So this means, and I have to point this out, that Robert was still fucking around in a neighbor's yard because the hedge neighbors are 2 neighbors away.
Yeah.
So he's still not just fucking playing in his own goddamn yard with his own goddamn toys.
He wants to hang out,
He is 1 yard away by the hedges, the verboten hedges.
Yeah.
I wish we had a name for the family. We
I mean,
don't.
he's keeping an eye on these folks, dude.
Right. And that's his deal, obviously.
Yeah,
a voyeuristic eye.
He's
a little uncomfortable eye.
he's quite obsessed.
Startled by a sudden rustling, tried to stay on point. Intrigued, the boy made his way toward the shaking shrubs, and what he saw next would haunt him for years to come. According to his account, he was leaning toward the bushes when, without warning, a strange face emerged from the foliage. The creature was unlike anything he'd ever seen before in books or on TV. In fact, the closest comparison Robert could make was with that of a stone gargoyle. Will there be a frog element? I think if we were betting men, we could say yes.
I was wondering. I'm like, wait a minute. This wasn't just a Bluefield gargoyle.
Oh, Cole's
it's
not
a Frogoyle.
Cole's not a slouch.
Okay,
he's going to name it a Frogoyle
right.
or a Frogoyle.
Frogoyle.
In the Queen's English.
Is there a documentary about a Frogoyle?
Oh, here's hoping. Yeah.
Boo, negative reviews. Boo.
The eyewitness would depict this essentially bulldog-shaped, iridescent green, potentially bellicose beast as having jet black eyes that bulged from his head in a decidedly frog-like fashion.
Oh, shit. Frog eyes.
Boom.
I like it.
All right.
Hence it being dubbed
the Frogoyle.
There it is. Its large ears, quote, flexed outward from the sides of its head like 2 big green gloves, end quote. So that's, what's the amphibian thing? The one in Minecraft. Axolotl? I always say I'm wrong. My
Axolotl?
I know my 5-year-old nephew pronounces it flawlessly, and
right.
I've always just, as all words, just harshly torn them apart with my mouth.
Huh.
So whatever that fucking amphibian is with the big frills out the side, like hands waving, like full-on jazz hands constantly.
Totally.
This is what this thing has.
Oh, crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Iridescent green. Huh.
Yeah. So slightly metallic, very vibrant, it was described also.
Huh.
And its stumpy limbs terminated in webbed feet that turned inward. So it's working. It's like
it's pigeon-toed or something?
It's pigeon-toed. It's like, imagine a bulldog with slippery, bright green skin, slightly metallic sheen, perhaps. The big, glovey frills on the side of its head.
Yeah.
Bulldog shaped, like I say, stumpy legs, turned inward, webbed feet, a big mouth. We'll be dealing with that in a second, and bulging frog-like jet black eyes.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yes. It was then that the unfathomable thing opened its wide mouth, revealing an array of finger-length teeth that seemed to flex outward as its maw stretched open.
Oh, that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, the teeth just
this thing
coming out.
This thing was already kind of goofy, but now you're like, oh, it's got some nasty ass teeth
and big giant teeth.
Yeah. Okay.
It then let loose with an intimidating hissing sound. Then its mouth was left agape, as if to quote unquote taste the air.
Not good, kid. Nah.
That's an interesting add-on, though,
Fucking
because it's
good.
like it hisses, its mouth is open, and then it's just leaving it open. And, he's a young kid.
I mean, dogs do that, though.
And he's writing about it later.
Yeah.
He's like, it looked like he was trying to taste the air. That's something, if you were just like writing a creepypasta only to be scary,
right.
why would you add that? You would add it
Yeah.
if you were smart because you're like, oh, I want to add this weird detail that makes no sense, that doesn't add to the horror because it lends veracity to it. And three assholes that are talking about it, one of them will say, oh, man, it makes it sound more truthful. So if you're really smart,
Got
that's
him.
why you'd add that.
Okay.
But most people aren't going to add that when they are clearly writing bullshit designed to freak people out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely seen dogs do that, though. I must find my brother's bulldog, Davy Boy Jr., does that shit all the time.
Proper name.
Where he
yeah.
just kind of like, his mouth's just open. He's like, Like he's
And some dogs are just mouth breathers.
I mean, he is a mouth. His face is just smushed.
Yeah, and I'm sure his sinuses suck.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Poor bulldogs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into inbreeding. I'm going to continue with the story.
He's line bred. Let's continue.
Robert. Nice. Speak much.
That was a little Frogoyle for you.
Yes, it's in my throat.
Oh, Frogoyle.
Robert was paralyzed with terror. He wanted to scream for help, but the sounds gurgled in his throat, evidently just as frozen as the rest of his body. After interminable moments of trying to move, which were either brought on by sheer terror or some kind of metaphysical mesmer, I don't know why he was frozen, could be either, given all the options,
Okay.
the boy was finally able to break his shackles and he dashed home at top speed. Once there, the blubbering child did his best to explain to his mother the anomalous amphibious entity he'd encountered. Through fits of gasps and tears, he was having no luck. So she pointed to a series of childcraft books and said, "See if you can show Mommy a picture of the animal."
How
Good
old is
on
this
her.
kid?
I don't know, but I mean, some people call their parents mommy and daddy to awkwardly late phases, but this makes me think he's very young. It was never specified.
If it's a childcraft book, she's like, show Mommy what the picture of the animal is.
I know. What's funny is that when
Like,
he's hanging out in
yeah.
trees looking at his nude neighbors,
I'm thinking he's like,
is he 12?
Yeah, is he like 7?
Yeah, I was picturing
like
tweenish.
10?
And then when you're like, show Mommy the picture in the book,
It's like
you're
a
like,
4-year-old?
exactly. Are you like pre-K?
Yeah, what the hell is going on with this kid?
It's disturbing, even more so not knowing.
Okay, well,
We don't know.
all right, childcraft books. Here we go.
Robert scanned through the various tomes, but the closest comparison to its odd features that he came across was Australia's marsupial koala. Not a bear. Took me a long time. I'm there finally.
Okay, cool.
And he insisted that this was only because of how the creature's eyes appeared similar to what he'd seen. So it's not hairy. It doesn't look like a fucking koala, but the eyes were the closest thing he found in said childcraft books. Laughing it off, his mother dismissed him, saying, "Son, those animals are only in Australia. What you probably saw was a dog." Disheartened by his mother's comment, Robert, as disenchanted as he was still frightened, chose never to speak to her about the creature again. That sucks. Someone you love and trust laughing at you, even if they don't mean to. And I can understand why an adult's first response to because it seems like she's seriously responding to it. Like,
for sure.
Show me a picture in a book. Maybe it's an iguana. Maybe it's an escaped basilisk or I'm not saying basilisk or bearded, not the mythological one, but like the real lizard
Just
or like
don't
a
look at
bearded
it.
dragon or some shit.
Seriously.
And I'm going to figure it out. But once he picks koala, she can't help but laugh. It's a relief to her.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I know. I
But
get
for a
it.
kid, not only does it take the wind out of your sails, but it's literally, it's like it's a kick to your ability to trust when you're dealing with something that's putting you out
but
there.
he also doesn't have the ability to describe what he saw because it's indescribable in that book.
I mean, yes. I mean, clearly Axiotals or whatever the fuck thing I'm trying to say. And I
Yeah,
know
man,
I know
I'm just-
people out there pulling hair out saying it right, but
Kid, use your words. Draw a picture.
an amphibian,
Yeah.
a salamander.
He's not going to know amphibian, but just draw a picture. But
Unless
this
this kid is 3 or fucking 4 with weirdly uncanny climbing tree abilities.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's traversing fucking barbed wire.
I wish to God he just said.
I know.
Because it would make it so much easier to contextualize the motivations.
No, I know.
We won't be able to.
No, we can't. We never.
So I can see where that's
Okay.
going to be like a little bit of a burden, and you're not going to bring it up again.
Understandable.
Thus ended all of the child's ambitions to probe into his neighbor's business. But as luck would have it, his intrigue returned when years later, Robert was given the opportunity to go inside the house and explore the land. but he found his old fears rising, especially when he entered the cellar and learned about a tragic chapter in the property's history. So now I'm going to refer back to Cole's story. Quote, several years later, after his strange and eccentric neighbors had left the area, a preacher and his wife had moved into the house. Robert was then hired by the couple to do some maintenance on the property, like mowing the grass and taking care of the home in general. And on one occasion, he had to go down into the basement of the home. And while there, he felt extremely terrified of being down there, as though there was some dark energy in the room. Robert proceeded to tell the preacher about his experience with the previous owners of the house and about the time the husband chased him out. The preacher explained that the man did this because, and this is dark, a little girl in the area drowned in the pond.
Oh.
And the girl's family proceeded to sue the family that owned the property. Yet Robert felt there was some strange connection to the previous owners, the strange creature, and the dark energy he felt in the basement, but he could not figure out just how or what it could be. End quote. Unlike the movies, however, this was not an enigma that Robert was destined to get to the bottom of. Though, when all is said and done, maybe that's not such a bad thing, because there are other movies, for example, and we've used this reference before, Angel Heart, wherein the pursuit of a mystery leads one not only to their death, but worse yet, damnation. The lessons that movies teach us.
Yeah.
I mean, we never forget.
Yeah.
And that's our
Movies.
science and moral compass, cinema that we grew up with.
Yeah, don't chase his lead down too far.
What's most telling, perhaps, are Robert's final words on the subject. Quote, I've never seen a creature like this one since the day I laid eyes upon it. And till this point, I have never seen it again. But because of that experience, I have always been scared of the dark, because I know there are monsters I saw.
Oh shit! Suburban
Fucking
horror, the Bluefield Frogoyle. So he had a very brief experience, like a run-in with this thing, where it didn't really do anything to
Nope.
him. It didn't.
No.
Popped out,
which is interesting.
licked the air,
It didn't have any.
hissed,
I mean, yeah. It. I almost think you kind of want to.
slowly backed away like Homer Simpson into the
I mean,
shrubs.
you kind,
Yeah,
I mean,
the
I don't want
meme.
to put himself in danger, but like maybe try to befriend it. It sounds cool as shit. It's a little green gargoyle dog.
I know, having spent so
Huh.
much of my youth near like creeks and fucking outlets and whatever, looking for salamanders and crayfish and fucking
Sure.
minnows and fun shit. If I had seen a particularly large amphibian, I might have been cautious, but I definitely would have been looking for something with which to capture it and inspect it further.
I mean, this thing seems kind of big. If this thing,
Well, I mean, bulldog big.
yeah. So you're not gonna really capture it. But I don't know, man. Bring her some snacks and shit. Hang out with it. I used to love being a kid and you just find a dog. Like you're just hanging out and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, there's a dog. Whose dog is that? Well, it's our dog now. And just fucking feed it and hang out with it and shit. It was dope.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stray amphibian, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
And so let's go legit. And I'm going to give Cole full credit for pointing this out. It could have been a particularly curious kid who had a weird relationship with this house and the people in it, who just saw an escaped pet, like we mentioned before.
Okay. No.
Because it looked green to him and was apparently, from his adult's eye view, amphibious, indicating that it had moist skin and not scales.
Okay.
It had the neck frills. It had the bulging eyes, all the things we
A
described.
pet seal.
Oh, well, you're right. A seal, actually, this is one of the things I would have to cite. Unlike the fictional and real reptiles I tried to cite earlier, this doesn't look like anything. Especially, maybe a hellbender, but they definitely aren't green. They don't have the fucking neck frills.
Oh yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah. But why the hell would
there's
you
a lot
have one of
different things
those?
that it combines? So it's like hard to say, like, oh, it's this.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just-
and
it's
this
got
is
a lot of weird fucking things.
This is well
Like, I
before
don't-
people were putting their pets in costumes. You know, like, oh, hey, look, here's a little, fireman's outfit for Leo.
True.
Yeah. And he's a
I
member
mean-
of Paw Patrol.
I mean, I don't know how valid that would be either way, because even if it was in prime time for putting pets in fucking costumes.
Yeah.
And I think the 80s it happened. Maybe more than it ought to
I
have.
don't remember. Did it?
Um,
Was that a thing?
Well, not among decent people.
I remember put a T-shirt on my cat because it looked funny.
Sure. I'm not
He's just so disappointed in
you
me.
do you.
Sure.
I mean, I can't see the fruit of going down this path much further.
All right. So
he would have known it was a fucking dog in a weird fucking salamander costume.
yeah, there is.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it could have been. I mean, the only thing that fits the description is a bulldog, but they are not green and they do not have crazy shit in the fucking side of their head.
Right.
St. Patrick's Day dog that dyed the dog green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does not explain the shit in the side of the head.
Pretty
though.
sure it's not a dog. No hair was described. Shaved the dog.
Oh yeah, no hair.
Dyed its
that's
skin
right.
green.
Yeah, weird hairless
Added like
dog.
2 inflated surgical gloves to its cheeks. I mean, we can keep going.
Dude.
Yeah, some weird gloves that
Put
made
black
it look
contacts
like it had
on.
webbed
There's
feet.
no okay, fine. There's nothing that fits this thing's description. Fine. It's just kind of cool that it didn't do anything. It was just there, kind of chilling.
Yeah,
and
just sat there. It
hanging
was
out.
like,
It was
and
like, it was like,
yeah.
it's just hanging out, being cool. But yeah, that really does. Ooh, man, this kind of gets down into it now because it's like, especially knowing the dark history of the house. Ooh, was the girl was she drowned or was it a sacrifice?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Because
dude.
that is where
sacrifice
I
to
inevitably
children,
have to
Chris.
go.
That's what we're talking about.
Why did you say that to me?
Because making sure you're on board.
I don't know. If I
Child
am.
sacrifice.
I mean,
For what?
let's
Child sacrifice.
clarify.
No,
These people
Child
fucking
for what? Child sacrifice.
These
For
people
what?
fucking sacrifice the kid.
Chris should not be on board with child sacrifice. Are you on board with Mark believing it might be?
Yeah.
No, that completely falls in line with Mark.
Sure.
Well, dude, of course.
But
Because come on, convenient drowned in the homemade
Yes,
pond.
but you're hard
really?
to fucking predict because normally you like to shoot everything,
Right.
and this one you're like, no, you should have went and like fed it fucking.
Well, yeah, because it didn't do anything. It didn't make a move
That is-
on you.
We're this crazy couple, whatever else they may or may not have been into, like nude sunbathing in the winter, performing arcane occult rituals in the basement of despair and despondency that Robert felt instantly uncomfortable in. And could they have called forth a demon from the nethers, realized it was a bridge too far when said demon killed a local girl, dragged it to the depths, tried to prevent said, I'm just going to say demon at this point,
Okay.
from coming back by witch balling the fuck out of their property, which we know is supposed to inhibit
Oh,
the
witch
skills
ball,
and
yeah.
powers of nefarious forces, including witches, and I'm supposing goblins and demons. And that maybe when the kid broke through, he was giving his wife some knowing, smirk, and then look back. It's like, oh fuck, not again, because we witch balled the shit out of this place. We don't want this demon feeding again. We almost lost our house the first time.
But the demon didn't give the kid any weird feeling, or the little weird dog didn't. The Frogoyle didn't give the kid any weird feelings.
He
at
was
all.
petrified
He
to
was
the point
scared of it, but
he was unable to speak. He was unable to move. And when he finally broke through gasping fits of weeping and fucking mayhem, he pointed to a koala bear. He definitely gave a vibe of evil.
Yeah, that thing wanted to kill him for sure.
Well, we don't know that either.
No,
Now
it was
that's going too
gonna
far.
kill him. He was gonna be the next child
But I
sacrifice.
mean, if you're
to
not
Pond.
expecting that, and then you see that, you're gonna get fucked up.
That's fair. Chris is not wrong.
Okay.
So
I mean-
I'm saying it's a legitimate reaction for young Robert.
Yes.
Bobby, let's call him.
Switcheroo, let's shoot it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
See?
the old Mark switcheroo.
All right, that's fair.
No, don't shoot it.
Or if you want to go even darker, like Mark was suggesting earlier, could have, the death of that other child been the summoning, and they're totally cool with it. They're not trying to keep it away.
Maybe. I mean, maybe they pulled a Crowley. You know how he brought lamb under this world.
And the dude was Funt was the bottom there.
Funt's definitely
Funt's 100% the bottom in that fucking power magic.
dude. Yeah, power bottom magic 1-on-1.
101. Join Mark's class
Scissor,
online.
scissor magic, we call it.
Oh my God.
So yeah, maybe if they did kind of like conjure something,
I don't know.
I wonder if it was something where like the thing just kind of came through and they were stuck with it. Like, well, shit. Now we got this animal to fucking do. Not like in a bad way, but like, well, fuck. Now what do we do with this?
So
thing?
just because
kind of like in House. Remember the thing in House. In House 2.
See, now you're talking. I knew. Don't call it House when you're talking House.
I know.
2,
Sorry. It was House 2. That little animal that they had. That little caterpillar thing. It's like it kind of sounds like this.
No, that was Henson-y.
It was
It's kind of adorbs, if I remember correctly.
It was, but I mean, thematically, Mark's not wrong. Maybe
this sounds like more like a Stranger Things upside down creature.
It does.
Oh,
Somewhere in between. Like
man, some weird eldritch horror.
Well, Eldritch horror really covers it.
Yeah,
like extending
maybe.
finger length teeth. That's
Oh
a problem.
yeah, it is. Yeah, dude, some shit from the depths, dude. Like some Cthulian little minion that they just kind of sucked out of its realm, and it's like, fuck. Now I'm in this pond with these witch balls and this dumb kid.
I mean, I got to give Cole full credit. Like, he definitely went down this rabbit hole of occult, craziness.
Yeah.
But and it is a stretch, I'll admit, but it is a fun stretch because this guy knowing what exists in his backyard, wanting to keep people not necessarily even giving a fuck if this kid is safe or not, but just not wanting the trouble that could be caused by
I
it.
get
Or
it.
maybe he really is concerned for the kid's welfare. I don't know. I'm not here to judge the fun. I don't know where he comes from, what his intentions are.
Well, if you didn't care, then why go and be pissed off and
Well, yeah,
go next door and then
Well,
yell
because
and-
you don't want to be responsible
for another
financially
child
for
death.
another child death.
Yeah, man. The pond's wide open. Or fuck it, man. Just be like, yeah, kid, come on over. And then like, get him, Jerry. Get him. And fucking sick.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's me. I
Just
don't. I don't know.
Fucking sick the thing on the kid. And
I
just
feel like if anything, there's some sort of weird pond thing, and they found out, and that's what they have to do hymns every night as part of the ritual to keep it at fucking bay. And then they got a
shit.
guardian monitor.
Dude, because you know
A
why?
guardian monitor lizard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the fucking pond, you know what it's an
From
entrance
the next
to?
dimension. That's why it's a little fucked up. It's not. It's not a
Yeah.
guardian monitor. It's-
Let's go. Where?
Mud World.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that
Oh, shit,
pond is an
alright.
entrance to fucking Mud World. Dude,
Oh,
think
the-
about Sluggo, dude.
I am face palming hard right now.
No, dude, think about
That's
it.
why
It
the
all
witch
makes
balls
sense.
are around. It's keeping the pond at bay.
All right, you're right.
Yeah, it all
right.
makes sense.
The pond is a
dude.
problem. That's my answer.
Oh, and this thing
But-
is like this is a weird
The weird amphibian thing is
from
guarding
Jesus.
it.
From Jesus.
Guarding it from Jesus?
No, it's sent from Jesus, guarding the children from the pond.
Wait, now I'm confused. So Jesus wants kids to drown.
No, he doesn't. The thing is there to prevent the kids from going to the pond
That was created
to
by
save
Jesus.
the children. No,
Well, you invoke Jesus, not
Yeah,
me.
I know.
the
I
weird
know.
little animal thing was sent to Earth by Jesus to prevent the kids from drowning in the pond.
Oh,
Yeah, he didn't make the pond.
boy. That was a
technically,
journey,
God made
friend.
everything. If you're Catholic, Jesus, God.
He's made everything.
All right, let's go more practical.
All right, what do you
I'm going to
got?
be quoting Cole again,
Okay.
and I enjoy this part because it references me. There is a hypothesis that I've been a firm supporter of, proposed by cryptozoologist Rob Morphy. Don't know if I'd go that far.
Oh,
But I'll allow
cryptozoologist Rob Morphy. I love the sound of that.
That aquatic humanoids may migrate from one watery locale to another. You guys have heard me talk about the migrating cryptids.
Yeah, no, this is cool. I like
I mean,
it. I like
even
it.
the Fresno Nightcrawlers are migrators in
Dude,
my
the
book.
aquatic ape, bro, do it.
I find this extremely likely since oftentimes these creatures are not seen regularly in such locations and often disappear for exceptionally long periods of time only to occasionally reappear. Oftentimes in the same location, there are islands and rocky areas that rise out of the water. These would be ideal locations for the creatures to live momentarily as they go from water source to water source, and it could also explain how and why similar creatures are seen in completely different locations in the U.S., and if these creatures have life cycles like amphibians, then there will be all sorts of different stages reported, hence why someone might see a frogman or a fishman or something else in a different location. They might also see an armless horror like found in Charles Mill Lake, which we know is one of our early, that with orange eyes.
Oh,
one of our early
yeah.
ones.
Okay.
Whereas others might see frogoyles or green things, referring to the Kensington green thing, that weird thing that ran into the sewer with the pointy head, that amphibious anthropoid.
That,
we
pissy
did.
Kermit the Frog?
Yeah, I think it was in no, that might have also been in the same story. Weird wet things, the Moist Menagerie, I think.
Yeah.
But the Kensington Green thing is the one that slipped into the, I think, Michigan sewer. I could be way off on that. But the pissy Kermit the Frog was in Lake Constantine in Austria, the lake that borders Austria, Germany, and Switzerland.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was just up with this anus mouth looking pissy
Pissed.
with the weird frill around his neck.
And that thing had a frill too.
Yeah.
Just like this thing.
Okay. So both are demons, clearly.
It's not from Jesus.
So
Okay.
first off, thank you, Cole, for invoking me. But secondly, the idea that it might be a migrating cryptid that has nothing to do with the weird couple,
No.
their witching balls, or
the
any other
the
bullshit.
Dead kid?
Just happened to be walking through wet
Coming
spot to wet
through.
spot.
Yeah, just kind of coming through
Okay.
the pond. I like
But with
that
its pudgy
idea.
little legs, I mean, you've got to move fast.
Yeah, but that thing sucks at migrating, dude.
That's
That thing
what I'm
that
saying.
can't migrate for shit.
Unless it's got hidden wings.
Unless
It
it has
didn't
tunnels to Mud World.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So portals. Just like the old Nessie, the Loch Ness portal that led to the ocean so the creatures could come in and out of the ocean and go to all the other, myriad lochs in Scotland.
Yeah.
That asinine theory that obviously I'm not a supporter of. Maybe every little pond and bird bath in America is linked by secret interdimensional portals wherein metaphysical cryptids, perhaps diabolical in origin occasionally, can manifest, eat a child, and leave.
Yeah.
It just seems like science,
dude.
now that I've said it out
Is
loud.
it vampires that can't cross water?
Yes.
Okay.
Or
Nothing to do with this.
If you throw rice or something, they have to count it all.
This came into my mind. All right, man. So this thing's using water to traverse its way across our world. You're right, though. Maybe, and this, this is normally Chris's bag. Is maybe it's just two separate, incidences that are not connected. They just have to have this pond.
It's possible.
Weird shit happened. The kid drowned. They're all freaked out. They're sunbathing in the fucking winter, naked and shit, doing strange
But tell me,
stuff.
This really isn't a Lynchian or a even more expressly Jodorowskian interpretation of the Fright Night theme.
Dude, for sure. 100%, dude. Especially if they just got some weird creature kicking around.
And depending on how young he is, it's almost Wes Anderson if he did a horror film.
Oh, it kind of
like
is,
fucking,
yeah.
just dealing with a kid. And he's too young to be doing this. And he's almost persecuting this couple who really, their only crime is that we know of protecting kids from the fucking wet hole in their backyard.
The original crime was negligence on their part.
Sure, and they're clearly living it hard. Yeah. So if you want to be, skeptical, you can easily say they're terrified. A kid drowned there. Maybe they are not going to let that happen again.
Like they're tortured.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah. What if this thing is the kid what if this thing is the soul of the kid that died?
Oh, transmutation.
What if they had something to do? Yeah, like I don't know how that works, but.
No, nobody does.
No, I'm trying to figure out how it could even work.
Or maybe the child never died. They just used their arcane magic to turn it into the monster.
Oh, they turned it, and then
that protects the portal.
And she wanted to be friends with the kid because she hasn't played with anyone since she drowned. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Dark.
There it is. Dark. Oh, shit.
I think we might have solved it.
I mean, Suburban Horror, the Bluefield, Frogoyle, there it is. Cryptonaut Podcast. Thank you all so very much. Thank you to Mr. Cole Herrold.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Doing it.
Indispensable, and I will dispense you more often,
Yes,
sir.
Cole, just text Rob and bug him, because he might get back to you. He doesn't get back to me, but he might get back to you. You never know.
Fuck you, I get back to you.
I called you. I text you. Nothing. It's fine.
Never
I know
more than 12 hours later.
Your notifications are off. I understand that. I understand that. I'm just saying. I was just calling this morning to check in, see how things are going, see how things are happening.
Clearly, they were going well.
Well, apparently, because you can't talk to me. That's fine.
I was just preoccupied with creating.
I was going to talk about Dune, tell you about all this fun, adorable shit my children have done recently. Not really, but that makes me feel bad.
You're a fucking dick.
I love it. I love you guys too. All right, Robert, Patreon shout outs. Let's do this for those good folks that support us over there at patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast.
To begin with, we are thanking from the bottom of our hearts Stephen Medberry.
Oh, thank you, Stephen.
Sin BSD.
Yes, thank you, Sin BSD. I thought it was BDSM, but it's not. It's BSD. Sorry, Sin. Sorry, I seriously, I was like, wait, is it? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I can't read. It's fine.
No, it's all right.
And I can't.
No, I mean, we
see.
all scan and then add things that we think
I'm
we
like,
see.
BSD. Okay, fine. Thank you, Sin BSD. Appreciate it.
Colton Ghoul.
Thank you, Colton.
But it's the maybe it's Gull. Could be Gull.
Maybe it's Gull.
I went Ghoul, but it's
I feel like Ghoul.
GUHL.
GUHL.
Yeah. So it feels like a sturdy, solid, good last name.
Yeah.
That I don't want to dismiss it by saying Ghoul. But if it is Ghoul, that's great.
All
but
right,
if it's Gull, then you got that too.
Hey, whatever, Colton. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Ben John.
Thank you, Ben.
With an A. Interesting. Miss Casey.
Thank you, Miss Casey. Yeah, no, I couldn't tell if it was an A or an O. I'm trying to see so hard.
Who needs reading glasses?
Dude,
he's needed glasses for years. But he drives the truck that's going to just annihilate a pile of nuns because he can't fucking see them.
A pile of nuns, dude.
True.
Oh, man. It is a nun-killing machine. There you go.
As I said, Miss Casey.
Thank you, Miss Casey.
Double shout. Campbell Richmond.
Thank you, Campbell.
Nick Zanes.
Nick Zanes, hell yeah.
Magdaluna.
Magdaluna, thank you for returning. What up?
Oh, that sounds like fucking metaphysical biblical.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
Dimney.
Thank you, Dimney.
last, absolutely not least, simple, sweet Julia.
Thank you, Julia. And again, you can join the Patreon. I believe we are currently up to actually, I have it written down right here. As of this episode, 205 bonus audios.
Crazy.
So if you're burning through this catalog, you can go to patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast. Join up there. The $1 and the $5 both will get you access to the Discord. And there's going to be a March event and an April event. So jump on the Discord, check that out there. Check the socials because we're going to be posting them there. The only reason I'm not announcing them right now on the show is because we're 2 weeks ahead. So by the time this comes out, I'm pretty sure it'll already have happened.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was just going to ask. Is the March thing going to already be done by the time this comes out?
Probably. But I'm just going to announce
We really
them.
fucked up giving ourselves a 1 week
Well,
buffer.
no, because I'm just going to announce them on the socials, and because some people get backed up and they might not listen, they might have like 4 pods of ours they got to listen to.
That's true.
So I would rather just put them out on the socials, or if you're on the Discord under the events tab, check it out right there. You can fucking go there, do that, and of course, shout out to Hecate and Bone Daddy and literally Jesus for holding that.
God bless
holding
them,
us down
everyone.
over there. It's so awesome. They're keeping that shit locked down tight. We appreciate that. So yeah, be sure to join the Patreon. Check that out. We have the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks and the socials, the medias. I guess TikTok might be getting banned. I don't know. My daughter was asking about it. She said, Dad, are they going to ban TikTok? I'm like, I don't know. My son was like, they're going to ban TikTok. So I don't know. Apparently there's some, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah,
honestly.
I give zero. I mean, I guess I like freedom of speech, but
yeah, I don't know.
I don't
some
know.
state-sponsored tool of espionage. I don't know, dude. You got me. I'm too old for the TikToks.
Yeah.
I tried the Snapchats. I don't understand it.
Sure.
I'm on Instagram. Hit me up there. DMs. Pop in.
I
say
love
what's
your
up.
dick pics. I mean, I live for that shit.
My dick pics?
That's a joke.
I was going to say I only ever send my wife's dick pics.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, do I?
You and I
do you
don't
know?
Snapchat.
Does she send them
like
to you?
when you send them to, like, if you're at work, you're like, look, here's my dick next to some dirty fucking shit water.
Yeah, I put my dick in the shit water, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, then I'm
Well,
like, here.
dead animals and put your dick next to it. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's that raccoon.
Which one's the dick? Which one's the dead animal?
It's the worst game of fucking.
Jesus Christ. It's no wonder she's turned to vampire porn.
Oh, God. It's fucking terrible. So, yeah, the social medias, we're there. We're doing it. We're hanging out. Do all your stuff there. T-shirts, hellerspace.com. T-Public. Check it out. Yeah, I got all kinds of sales happening over there constantly. Jump on that. Check it out over there.
Sales.
We also have the crowd made over there at cryptonautmerch.com. Check that out. So, yeah, there's all kinds of ways you can support us, and whether it's via the sponsors, via the Patreon, via the merch, via whatever you want to do. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, you want to, help your buddies out here, feel free. We appreciate it. And yeah, man, that is it. And again, thank you, Cole Herrold. We appreciate you out there
always
with these stories. And we're gonna make Rob get in touch with you very soon here, and we're gonna start using those research skills of yours.
It's true. I'm an old fucking dog, and new tricks are anathema. But that having been said, I will say this. Sometimes it's really good to just let your weird neighbors be.
Yeah, I think that's the moral of the story. Yeah. I kind of learned that with Dorothy.
You sure did.
She was my weird neighbor, and then I tried to help her during the pandemic, and she died.
But every now and again, you see the red eyes
It's your
looking out
fault.
the window.
It's my fault.
Because you helped her. If you didn't help her, she would have lived.
Oh, wow. No.
That's
my
an
God.
Abrahamic trick. It's all over the Bible.
Yeah,
probably
it's true.
It's Yahweh saying, oh, no, you do this thing. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah, and
good
I'm
deeds,
still, every time I'm
bad
in
results.
every time I'm in the back, like if I'm burning cardboard, that's right, in my solo stove, or I'm just doing whatever, I look over the house, I'm convinced that she's going to be in that window, because she would always be there.
Yeah.
No matter what I was doing, if I was outside, she'd stand in the window and stare at me. I'm like, hey, Dorothy, how are you? And she would act like I didn't see her.
Oh, that's so weird.
And I'm like, the shit's open, I can see you,
That's
Dorothy.
so
Are you the
fucking
ghost?
weird.
Yeah. Am I the
my
ghost?
God. Have you been haunting her all along?
Oh, shit. Am I dead?
Yeah.
Oh, no. What are you guys then?
Mark's dead. Fucking Dorothy moved, and we're just
dude, I
fucking
died
figments
years
of
ago.
your
Is this my
imagination.
Jacob's ladder?
Holy
Oh,
shit.
fuck, this is my Jacob's ladder.
Oh, Danny Aiello's going to work your back into
Oh,
a
God
glorious
damn it.
oblivion.
Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry, Dorothy.
Oh, wait till my head starts shaking weird.
Oh, yeah. Don't be flittering.
Yeah, don't
from
you
the
doing that shit, dude. We ain't got time for
Dude,
Yeah,
that.
that was way
Silent
before
Hill
Silent
shit.
Hill.
Yeah.
Way before.
Oh, God, we can't.
Oh, that was scummy. Yeah.
Yeah. So also at this point, you probably saw the secret we put up on Patreon. The little tricky.
Oh, yeah, there's a little something there on Patreon.
Yeah.
Be sure
I haven't talked to Mark about it, but it'll be there.
It'll be there. Just
by
be sure
this
to
time.
jump on, check that out.
If you like it, there's going to be more to come.
Yep, more of that's going to be happening. We're not going to tell all the other listeners, because you got to do the Patreon to check it out.
Ooh.
We want to tell everybody because there's a lot of new stuff happening in the Patreon soon.
Yep, there's gonna be all kinds of fun stuff happening here. We got some webcams and whatnots in front of us. Oh, what could those be for?
I mean, literally, I still don't know what we're talking about.
Dick pics.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you
Dick
go.
pics.
We're joining OnlyFans, Rob. Get ready.
Dude, I've been ready. I've been
Nice.
working out. My drinking arm.
Oh shit! Awesome. Well, there you have it. Thank you all so very much, and talking to you soon.
Bye-bye, friends. Bye. Pay attention to yourself and not others, and you won't get fucked up by Frogoyles.
You don't even know what we're talking about with Patreon, do you?
No.
Okay, we'll tell you.
Jesus Christ.
We'll tell you afterwards.
Well, seeing as this was we're 7 months behind or ahead.
Yeah.
Like, now I have to think about what I say. I'm like,
Yeah, seriously. It'll work. It's fine. Bye.
I'll catch up.